don't want to make too much.
And we are live. Episode number 9 of the Swoosh Swoosh podcast. Welcome, everyone. My name is Eric.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ernest on the check-in.
Yeah, Mastradamus, live in effect.
Yes, sir.
And tonight we're going to preview episode 9, tonight's matchup between the Lakers and the Knicks at MSG.
One thing, fans, I know last week we talked about this week's episode about college hoops. We didn't forget about that. Obviously, we know with clearly me being a Laker fan along with Amstradamus and then Eric being a Knicks fan, and the Lakers and Knicks play tonight. It was just impromptu, quick preview of what we expect and all that. But stay tuned next week. We will have that college episode up,
Yes, sir.
live and done. So just bear with us, and it's a lot of exciting, topics we're going to cover for college. So
Okay.
let's get into it. Tonight, Lakers versus the Knicks at the Garden. Not what we expected, right? Because LeBron obviously will not be playing tonight because of the wrestling match that went down in Detroit.
Rams became one on test.
Yeah, between LeBron and Isaiah Stewart. As you know, there's a lot of talk about this right now around sports media outlets and stuff like that around the league. LeBron has been suspended for 1 game. Isaiah Stewart has been suspended for 2 games. What do you guys take on it? How do you guys feel about the results of what happened?
So I mean, you guys know where I stand, and for people who know me and spoke to me about it in the past couple of days, my opinion was just that, we played the Knicks tonight. And I always, there's an ongoing joke that goes around that it's LeBron's league. Like LeBron is the GM, like LeBron can't do no wrong. He's the teacher's pet. He's the favorite child, So I didn't think he was going to get suspended. And it's like, why would the NBA do that? We played the Knicks. He plays at the Garden. LeBron is 36, so he's not going to have that many more visits in him to the Garden. Ticket sales is going to plummet, and the Lakers and the Knicks have 2 of the biggest fan bases in the NBA. That's why I felt that the NBA wasn't going to do it. But the NBA needed to make a what's the word I'm looking for? Example.
Yeah.
And Ernest, like you were saying the other day, like it was a reason why they handed out suspension. There was something that got Isaiah Stewart so riled up to the point that his teammates kept walking him away. He separating him. He kept coming back. He even tried to go back in the tunnel to come to the Lakers side of the tunnel just to get in a few words with LeBron. But let me just make one thing clear. Right? Everybody who's just like, oh, like LeBron didn't want the smoke or Isaiah Stewart wanted all the smoke. Like these 2 dudes was literally face to face when Isaiah Stewart got whacked in the face. Isaiah Stewart got up and him and LeBron was literally 2 feet away from each other, looking in each other's eye. And then that's when they got separated. But something about when a man sees his own blood or tastes his own blood, that's when, things got sparked. So, but do I feel like he should have got suspended? I mean, yes and no. I'm still undecided about that. But, the NBA just want to make an explanation because I just know that if they wouldn't have suspended them, everybody be like, oh, it's LeBron's league, But that's where I stand on it. So,
yeah. I think, and I'll be really quick with this, I saw the whole play go down. Obviously, it looked like Isaiah was in the wrong position because and I don't mean to cast blame, but if you look at the play, the free throw, if Jeremy Grant missed the free throw, right, he should have been boxing out because he was in between LeBron and DeAndre Jordan. He should have been boxing out DeAndre Jordan, right, instead of LeBron. That's just naturally how you supposed to box out on the free throw line. The big against the big. What DeAndre and LeBron are supposed to do is sandwich him out so they can, have access to get the rebound. But needless to say, that's how it went, right? You can tell Isaiah Stewart had his arm locked on LeBron. So it looked like LeBron was trying to like, you know, just like untuck himself. But it looked like to me, LeBron forcefully kind of moved his his elbow, and he completely missed, and his fist hit the top of his eye and his lip and caused him to bleed. Now, should LeBron have been should LeBron should he have gotten suspended? Yes and no. I say no if Isaiah didn't react the way he reacted. If Isaiah was just like, if they just got, when they initially got close to each other after LeBron extended his hand, clearly looked like he was apologizing because he knew he messed up.
Right.
And if Isaiah was just like, whatever, they don't have a little talk back scuffle, but it was diffused and each team went to their respective benches, I don't think there would be any suspensions whatsoever. But because of how Isaiah Stewart reacted, that warranted a suspension because clearly, as you said, Omar, like when you taste your own blood, sometimes you rage, right? You literally see red.
It's adrenaline. It's adrenaline.
Right. So, I understand, but knowing Isaiah Stewart, and if you look at this history, Blake Griffin, Giannis Antetokounmpo, like he's the enforcer clearly, and he gets into these antics, and he wants to make his presence felt. So I get it. I think he overreacted. You know what I'm saying? But I understand why he reacted the way he did in the heat of the moment. He was just upset and angry. It looked like he was auditioning for Vince McMahon because you know what I mean. It looked crazy. But needless to say, I think the NBA got it right. LeBron, rightfully so, should have gotten suspended because of the reaction of everything. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously Isaiah Stewart, because of him escalating the situation, right? LeBron tried to de-escalate it, and Isaiah escalated it. And the NBA has to set an example and say, LeBron, what you did, that is not warranted in the league. We will not accept that. And then obviously Isaiah, you need to be more professional when it comes to that because things like this happen throughout the game. It's a physical game. Things like that happen. So I hope it's all past us because obviously these two teams play each other this Sunday in LA. So hopefully this is not like a resurgence of what we saw. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I think he got it right. It sucks that now that LeBron's in the West, that he only gets to go to New York once a year.
Yep.
Real quickly, and I pass it on to you, Eric. If I was watching First Things First and on FS1, and Nick Wright actually had a good suggestion. He said players who have a certain stature, right? Because it's too much of a gray area of what warrants a lengthy suspension, of course, of how many games, right? Like Jokic got the same suspension as LeBron, which I think Jokic, what he did was worse, right? Because that was like intent. He intended to push him and retaliate for what Markieff did, right? I think LeBron, what he tried to do was just like, it was just during the heat of the battle or whatever, and he got a little too aggressive and he hit him intentionally. Excuse me, not intentionally. He hit him mistakenly. He didn't intend for it to happen.
Right.
So what Nick Wright suggested was like players like KD, LeBron, Giannis, like things like that happen, and they have a nationally televised game or something like that. Maybe their suspension could be served at home, right? Like it'll suck for like a fan who lives in New York or who lives in Indiana or who lives on these East Coast teams that gets to see LeBron once a year, versus fans at the Staples Center where you have 41 times to see LeBron James, right? So maybe like the NBA could have been, all right, LeBron, you're going to serve your suspension against the Kings this week at home, right? Instead of serving the suspension in the Garden, where we know TV ratings and ticket sales, all that the NBA depends on. At the end of the day, the NBA is a business, and they sometimes, they have to operate in the best interest of the business. I just think the best interest of the business would have let LeBron play tonight and then serve his suspension at home.
Right.
And needless to say, like it is what it is, and I don't want to make this a LeBron privilege thing, but I'm saying all superstars should get this privilege. Just and not just them, like players, non-superstar players too, based on what the matchup is going to be and the nationally televised game is going to be. So, but end of the day, it is what it is. The league got it right, I think, in my opinion, and we move on.
And I agree with both of y'all. The league got it both right. Um, the NBA they wanted to clean up the antics, clean up the physicality. But this season, as we seen, there have been games where they had little fisticuffs. You had the Pacers and the Jazz game with Miles Turner and Rudy
Mhm.
Gobert.
Yeah, I don't know what that was though. That
That
was
was
like
like a bear. That was literally a bear hugging game. They were literally bear hugging each other. So I don't know if they were fighting. Um, yeah, because of the what of, I because my thing was if Isaiah Stewart, like you said, Ernest, didn't react to what happened, maybe Isaiah would have gotten one game and LeBron would not got suspended. But
Mhm.
it's the way that Isaiah Stewart reacted, and then the whole melee happened afterwards. It's like, yeah,
Mhm.
the NBA had to really step in and
Mhm.
and do something about it because you couldn't the NBA couldn't let this go and sweep this on the
And
rug.
then it's Detroit.
right.
I think
And
we
it's Detroit because
it's
we had
Detroit.
it's
We
the 10-year anniversary of the Malice at the Palace.
it's been I thought it was like 17 or something like that.
Actually, no, it's 2004, so
2004.
16 years.
Well, you all
Yeah,
yeah, 16,
16 years.
17 years since the incident happened. So yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
they wanted to make sure that there'd be severe punishment for enacting that
Hmm.
same activity. But
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep it short because we gotta move on. The league got it right. I know some wanted more for LeBron, some wanted more for
Hmm.
Isaiah Stewart, but at the end of the day, the NBA made a decision. I agree with it. I
It's
know
done.
It's TNT night, Knicks, Lakers,
Mhm.
national televised, two most the flagship franchises of the NBA. But the incident happened. Move on. Let's worry about what's going to happen tonight's game.
Mhm.
Yep.
So,
Go ahead, Eric.
all right. So in terms of tonight's game, the injury report came out earlier today, not too long ago. No Derrick Rose. Yes, he had a sore right ankle, suffered that in his game against the Bulls on Sunday. No Taj Gibson. He had a sore groin. He's been out for a couple of days. And no Mitchell Robinson tonight. Concussion. He suffered concussion Saturday against the Rockets at home. So this is his second straight game he's missing. Um, how's it going to affect the rotation tonight? Expect Emmanuel quickly and Alibert to get more minutes from the point guard and also from the two guard. Um, expect more, and also from the Lakers side, Anthony Davis, he's gonna try to give it a go in warmups, see if he's ready to
So,
go since he
just
has the flu.
this just in. Anthony Davis is starting tonight against the Knicks.
Yeah.
Against the Knicks, the Lakers say so.
Hmm.
AD will
Okay.
be playing tonight. So that helps us in our cause with missing
Hmm.
AD. I think AD and Russ is enough to beat the Knicks team, who is also depleted with injuries. So
Hmm.
good news for the
But
Lakers
also
side.
the thing is what type of uh condition AD is going to be in because he's battling flu
Yeah.
like symptoms.
Mhm.
And I
Hey,
mean,
I mean, remember the game when he threw up
hmm,
at
yeah,
halftime?
right.
He had a dominant game. We won that game. I forgot what. Jeez, what
Nah,
game was
what?
that?
Nah, did we lose to Portland that game where he left early? Where he was?
No,
Yeah,
right. He
yeah,
lost. We lost to Portland. We got blown out. But
Oh,
the next
it was
game
another
after
one.
that,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
literally
yeah,
the next game after that.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forget. Sorry, for not remembering. But yeah, so we'll see. Like you said, like I mean,
Hmm.
full like symptoms is no joke. We'll see what AD is like. Hopefully Russ can bring him along and AD could pick his spots as he
Hmm.
goes along. So,
Right. Yeah.
but
I'm.
mhm.
I'm expecting a win as always, as every night, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
what
But
I'm really looking
what
for
drama?
is right with drama, I assume.
Hmm.
But what I'm really looking for is what we saw in that third, fourth quarter in
Hmm.
Detroit. Are we bringing that with us to New York, right?
Right.
And are we setting the tone early first quarter, and we're not looking back, right? Because
Hmm.
the Knicks have been down in games recently and been able to come back, and make it very close. And sometimes I get really nervous with the Lakers in close games because the turnovers and all this stuff. They get into their bad habits and bad shots and bad offense. So I'm hoping to see a better effort tonight to out the gate, and I'm hoping to see a way better effort um, and the second half of the second quarter going into the third, and obviously the third quarter, because
Mhm.
that's where we collapse and we fall apart. It's always that maybe that 7 minute to 6 minute mark in the second quarter, all the way through the third quarter. We look like a high school JV team that just got assembled yesterday.
Yeah.
So um, I hope we we come out with with some fiery edge. It is at the Garden. It's going to be electric, right? So we'll see. We'll see. That's
Yeah.
what I'm hoping for.
I'm also like I'm a fan, duh. So of course I'm gonna go and say that we're gonna get this W tonight. But like I said, it's gonna be with some drama. Every time I've seen the Knicks and the Lakers play live at the Garden, there's always been some drama. Even though for the most part, the Lake Show has pulled it out, but there's also been haven't been some pleasant times, where I've attended the game and went home a happy fan. So, the Knicks, they always, whenever the Lake Show is in town, they always come to play. Whenever they beat the Lake Show, especially at the Garden, they wear that on their shirt like a badge of honor. Like they they love to beat the Lake Show and take that home with them. For real. But yeah, it's gonna be competitive. And pretty much just what Ernest was saying, like just coming off that W against the Pistons and how we had that third quarter and that fourth quarter. Everybody's been saying like, yo, is this the turning point that the Lakers need? And just like, I just want to see more, like, the Pistons was up 17, and prior to that game, a couple games before that, the Pistons was up a good margin on the Warriors, and the Warriors still came back, so,
Mhm.
like no disrespect to the Pistons, but like, the Lake Show, we got to be dominating all these games,
Yeah,
we can't be
and
getting
especially tonight. I think, sorry to cut you off, but especially tonight,
nigga.
the Knicks are going to play a lot of young guys because that's all they have to
Yeah,
play in their rotation, right? Obi
yeah,
Toppin, Manuel quickly.
mm,
We might see Jericho Sims right tonight.
yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna have to play Jericho Sims
mhm,
instead of on
Right,
court.
right.
yeah,
So with those three guys in the rotation, I think we can take advantage of their youth,
mhm,
and their inexperience, right?
right,
So what we can't do is lead to their strengths because they're going to want to run up and down the court.
right,
So and we got to keep quickly off the ISO. He likes to take that ISO three from the hash mark three corner. Um, you know what I'm saying? So we got to be able to stop that. Julius Randle, I think one on one, let him go one on one. I think we have enough defenders to kind of contain him one on one. It's just we can't let the Knicks get into their offense, and
right,
that's the thing because if Evan Fournier is hitting threes and then Kimler's hitting threes and Julius Randle hitting threes, the Garden's going to be on fire,
right,
and it's going to be tough to kind of combat that
right.
and the crowd. So
Right. And just like Ernest mentioned, the Knicks going to be playing like a lot of young guys, like Obi Toppin, Jericho Sims, and Emmanuel Quickly. These are guys, these are players that battle the.
come
Yo,
on,
Sean, get
Sean.
out of here, man.
Come on, Sean.
Get, hey, but we beat y'all though.
Word.
Just saying. But nah, like the guys that Ernest mentioned, these are young guys that feed off the crowd, like Obi Toppin is starting to become a fan favorite amongst Knicks fans. Emmanuel Quickly, there
Yeah,
was a lot of
him and quickly those
yeah.
two. I
You
need
see,
25 minutes from both.
you see what I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
hoping. What's also going to be interesting is we have the two worst coaches in making adjustments, right? Like Vogel,
Yo,
Vogel is so
rotation
stuck on
wise,
his ways, yes,
so
and
yeah,
Tibbs,
rotation wise,
they're
it's
both
just like
stuck in.
maddening.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's
Come
it's
on.
insane. Like, it like stresses me out. But like, we're gonna see who's gonna outdumb each other tonight. This is
Yes,
basically what's gonna
exactly.
happen with the two coaches, unfortunately. Because
mhm.
Vogel again is stuck in his ways and Tibbs is stuck in his ways. So, and
Right.
they're both.
Hmm.
I do anticipate a low scoring game because they're both defensive minded coaches.
You think
Yeah.
So
so?
Yes. Yeah.
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm,
I
Remember now. Sorry to cut you off, but remember
yeah
last year in that late season game in May?
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes,
And
yes.
THT hit the
'Cause
three and AD
we went
was
to
Yeah.
like,
like
"What
we
up?"
went to like two overtime or something like that.
No, it was overtime. Was that tied at
Overtime
91?
and
Oh yeah,
THT hit the
yes,
game winning
yes.
three.
He was
Yeah,
game winning 3. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
do see it to be a low scoring game, and this is why I feel like we'll win because this caters to Russell Westbrook's game. To me,
Hmm.
I think Russ can be dominant. He can get to the paint. You don't have bigs that can I mean, aside from Nerlens Noel, if we
Hmm.
get him in foul trouble, then I don't think the Knicks can win the game.
Yep.
Because I think we
They
just
don't
got to
got
put
no rim
pressure on the
protection.
rim.
Yep.
Yeah, if we put pressure on the rim and get no learners away in foul trouble, and I think Russ can do that, then we should be fine from there. But Eric, you're the low Nick fan here, the lonely Nick fan. Y- What's your prediction? What's your analysis? What you gonna think? I know you think you're gonna win, but what is your take on it?
Okay, so I think I think this is a important game. I think the Knicks are coming into a stretch where it's really important for them to start winning games.
Hmm.
So Sunday they play the Bulls. Tonight Lakers, Suns Friday, Hawks
Ooh,
Saturday, Nets Tuesday. So
all
they're in a
playoff
stretch.
teams.
They're in a stretch where they really need to start winning games. I At home,
If I had all those games, tonight is the game you can get.
yeah, I think they
Yeah,
definitely get this game tonight because even I think
I said can, no will,
well
can.
I got the winning tonight. Here's why I got the winning tonight. The Knicks. So here's my thing. Okay, y'all can laugh, but I know the first quarters for the Knicks have been putrid because of the starting five. But I know they have no Derrick Rose tonight, which is big. But I think the rest of the bench is going to step up,
Mhm.
especially with Alec Burks in the fourth quarter. He has been big time in the fourth quarters. Manuel quickly, I expect him and Obi Toppin to get 25 minutes, and I think they're gonna feed off that home crowd, which the Knicks are like really, really, really desperate for home wins right now. They're 4-5 at home, which is not good at all. They should have at least 7 wins at home this year. Actually, 8 wins. Yeah, 7 or 8 wins at home this year. I just think also even though they lost their last game against the Bulls, Julius Randle and Kemba Walker, they're starting to develop their chemistry little by
Mhm.
little.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
thought that Tibbs played Rose too much in the fourth quarter. He should have went to Kemba because Kemba and Julius they had that pick and roll game going.
Mhm.
Finally, we've been begging that for how long? So I want to see more of the pick and roll between Kemba and Julius with Julius off the ball. If we get Julius off the ball and start getting him in rhythm more, he's gonna have a big night. Um, and plus the Lakers are worse in point guard in guarding the point guards.
We
So
get killed by
Yeah,
guards,
yeah,
they
we're
yo.
get
getting
killed
killed.
by point
We
guards.
can't we
So
can't we can't stay in front of anybody from our guard
No,
play.
no.
Which is why I'm hoping if Anthony Davis you know no, Sean, it's not
it's
about LeBron James. We're not paying over $300 for a Nick ticket. I'm sorry, it's not happening. I would
If you
gladly. Go ahead.
if you look at the way MSG is constructed, bro, like them seats up there is low key scary, man, and pretty much what.
actually no that actually no they're not. At least the guy's a little space, but
I would much rather go
I'll
to
So let me
Staples Center, not
the
Crypto.com
Chase
Arena. It is
actually
Staples Center, and watch the Knicks and
so,
Lakers there,
so
Sean.
yo, let me just say this real quick.
so
So I
actually
okay, let
actually
me
so the
go ahead.
actually the seats that are on the bridge, those are really good seats. The Chase Bridge seats,
Um,
those are really,
I
really
ain't
good
sitting on
seats.
no
So
damn bridge,
So
man.
listen,
okay, so
man.
I went to the All Star practice back in 2015, and I remember sitting up there because like it's a practice, you know what I mean? I'm sitting up there, tickets was like $40, and I remember telling myself that I could not see the jumbotron at all, and I was telling myself that if I was at an actual game, I wouldn't be able to see the score because I can't see the jumbotron because the bridge was legit blocking it. So yo, Sean, nah, bro, like $400 for a nosebleed ticket. That's
Yeah,
gonna be a no for me, dog. You
yeah,
know,
that's a super no.
and we was hoping
Yeah,
that
we was trying to
that
go. We was really
we was
trying to
trying to
go.
go. We was trying to go. We was trying to
Hmm.
go. You know, and we felt that when LeBron got suspended, like prices was going to climb down. And then Eric, I know Eric was saying that the cheapest seat was like $200, something like that.
Yeah,
You know,
one like
but
180. Yeah.
yeah, it's something around that. With like the addition of fees and stuff like that. But we all here doing this podcast
Hmm.
for you guys. So,
Yeah,
but don't
man.
worry, don't worry.
Don't worry, we got a lot of things coming on the line. We'll be at games. We're probably doing some
Right,
live shows at games. So
right.
we'll see.
Hmm.
We'll see. We'll got some stuff cooking up. But yeah.
Hmm.
So
So I was
um,
so I was finishing up the
Go
point.
ahead, Eric.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So I was saying that the about the point guards and the Lakers having real trouble guarding point guards.
Hmm.
So if Kemba Walker can get up to a really good start, and then you have
can I
no
stop you really
Derrick
quick
Rose.
with Kimba? Can I stop you real quick with Kimba? I think the issue with Kimba as to why he may struggle tonight. Again, he may not, but because Russell Westbrook is playing, Russ is going to put a lot of pressure on Kimba Walker defensively, right? Like Russ is going to realize that Kimba can't guard him, and that's where I kind of see Russ dominating the game. But
So
it also goes both ways. So we'll see.
Exactly.
But also, if that's the case, then I'm putting in quickly, and also I'm putting in
You putting in quickly against Russ?
Deuce. I can put RJ on Russ.
I was going to
and
say
then
something
have
like
Kemba,
that.
Yeah, you could do
and then
that. You could do
and then
that.
put Kemba
Yeah.
as a on the shooting guard, and then
Cool.
I got
I got a
Quickly
question.
and Deuce McBride coming off the bench, and Burks coming off the bench. So
Okay.
I can at least
Yeah.
neutralize that because I've seen Russell Westbrook. He had his couple of good games lately, but overall he's been shooting brick houses left and
Listen,
right. If I'm not
but
lying.
the last 2 games, man, he's averaging 20 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists,
Yeah.
and 3 turnovers. That's really good. That's very efficient.
For
Yeah,
Russ.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
For Russ.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
Russ,
for
it's very
us.
efficient. But
But
we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be the game of matchups and the game of rotations, right?
And see who can adjust.
Based on
who
those
can adjust
rotations, who has
the passes.
exactly? I got a question though. Since you're a Knicks fan, are you putting 3 to the dome when Melo hits 3 threes? He's hitting 3 threes tonight. He's hitting 3 threes tonight, and it ain't Knicks tape no more. It's the Lake Show threes.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Oh man,
Listen, I love his time when he was the Knicks, but at the same time, if I see to do a 3 to the dome, it's going to be with Quickly, with RJ Barrett, Julius Randle.
Oh nah, he started that's Melo thing though.
Get out of here.
That's Melo thing though.
on,
That's
man.
his thing.
Come
You know,
on, man.
like the only other person that could do that besides Melo is LaMelo Ball. You know, and obvious reasons. But you know, any current play on the any current play on the Knicks can't do that. That's Melo.
But
So
remember the Melo Ball, he balled out last night.
yeah, he did. So give me your final scores before we conclude. Obviously, the pregame show is currently on now. I know our fans are going to want to watch that, but give me your final score for tonight, and who wins. Obviously,
I got Lakers up, of course. I got Lakers up 104-98.
Eric.
I got Knicks 110, Lakers 105.
I would love to blow them out, but you know,
I got Lakers 107-93.
14.
107-93. I think the Lakers pull away late.
Ernest, I would love that. I would it's good for my mental health and all that.
But you know how the Lakers and Knicks are.
You know how we get down. Facts. You know how we get down. You know,
it's gonna be like I know I said 111 to 105, but it's gonna be like 95, 93 with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Seriously, for real. I can guarantee you we're gonna get a stretch of like 2-3 minutes of both teams bricking jump shots back and forth.
Exactly.
Like, offense is looking terrible on both ends. Everyone's standing around. No one's moving the ball.
And then you're gonna hear tips in the background moving.
Yeah, 80 on the block.
Cussing.
Yeah, it's gonna be
80 on the block, jab stepping to death. You know,
come on. And you're gonna have Julius Randle 1-on-1.
What?
Like, come on, man.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be entertaining, a lot of drama. You know, like I was saying earlier in the show, when the Lakers come to the Garden, you know, it's a big deal. You know, and you have two of the biggest fan bases. Go ahead, Eric.
Also, a known stat: the Knicks have beaten the Lakers 8 of the last 10 times at MSG.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
Yeah, last year. And then they beat them. Lakers beat them 2 years ago. Then 3 years ago, the infamous block by Mario Hezonja.
Oh, don't remind me about that. I was at that game.
The two worst moments, right? The 2 worst moments I experienced at the Lakers and Knicks game at the Garden was the Mario Hezonja play because I was there.
Yeah, I was there too.
And when Kobe passed it to Luke Wall and he wouldn't shoot the ball and he was yelling at Luke Wall to shoot the
Right.
ball and we lost the game. I was like, what are we doing here?
Oh,
The
and
one
then
time they
and
always
then
tell Kobe to pass.
Word.
also honorable mention the Jeremy Lin game.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that
that
game.
that game made no sense.
That game, I just hated Jeremy Lin after that, and if and anybody
He
asks
became
why,
a Laker. He
it was
became a Laker after that.
And he became a Laker. He became a
but
Laker.
still, so what? So what? I
And
didn't
he
care.
waved off Kobe.
Yeah, and he waved off
them
Kobe.
off.
Yeah,
He
just
waved them
just
off.
just real disrespectful. And I remember coming into the game, somebody asked Kobe, did he know who Jeremy Lin was? And he was like, who?
Yeah, he's like,
And I just find it crazy how he gave us 37 that night. Like I just
37.
37.
And Melo did not play that night.
Melo
I
did
don't
not
think.
play. And
Melo did not play
No,
that
he
night.
he didn't play.
No.
He didn't play. And
He didn't play
everybody
that
was
night.
like,
No.
that was like Lin saying that was like kind of like the early beginnings too, because he had his couple of games against like the Nets where he was balling. Then
Mhm.
everybody
Yeah.
called win that he was really good. But when he beat the Lakers, man, going back to school
And
that
that-
following
and
Monday
that was
was
that
annoying.
same
And that was
week
the
he hit
ESPN
the game
game.
winner. That was the same week he hit the game winner against
Toronto.
Toronto.
Raptors.
Yeah.
Toronto. Yep.
Yep. Wow, Lin
And
Cannon.
it was an ESPN game.
Oh, it was on a Friday. I
Yeah.
remember
It was on
that.
Friday night ESPN.
Yep, I remember going back to school Monday, just heated, man. Like everybody, like Knicks tape, Jeremy Lin, da. And I'm just like, bro, get out my face, like.
Yeah. So, really quick though, before we conclude this, there was a report that came out from Bleacher Report from Eric Pincus. And he discussed a bunch of trade options around the league, like early trades and stuff like that. We'll have an episode on trades and when trade season happens and stuff like that. But yeah, so one thing he mentioned was the Lakers obviously improving their roster, which I personally think they should do. And he wrote something about Jeremy Grant from Detroit. Jeremy Grant is under contract at $20 million for the current season, and with another year at $21 million. So obviously next season he'll be able to opt out. Now the thing is with the Lakers can offer THT, Kendrick Nunn, and a veteran minimum contract, whether it's Monk or whether it's Wayne Ellington, Ariza, whoever, right? Anyone who got the minimum, not named Melo, 'cause I think Melo's safe to stay.
Facts. He's the best player on the team.
Yeah, pretty much. They can get Jeremy Grant with that package if Detroit's willing to entertain that. Now, do I think it'll happen? Probably not. But I like the addition. I think Jeremy Grant to this team puts us in a different conversation now. And he checks all the boxes, I think, in my opinion, that we need. A wing defender. He's tall. He's long. He can get to the rim, create his own shot, create his own offense without someone setting him up, like i.e. LeBron, Rondo, or Westbrook. So it'll be sad to lose THC if this is what happened, but we all know, Lakers is all about building stars and building these teams to win championships. So and then another take was Indiana. Same package, and you can get Miles Turner and I believe it's Justin Holiday from Indiana, which I also like too. That solves the big issue, right? I think having Miles Turner instead of DeAndre Jordan is a way better option.
Yeah.
Possibly cutting DeAndre Jordan, and
You could play two bigs if you want to, because they both can shoot.
Actually plays two bigs.
Well, AD can't shoot the three, so
yeah, but AD plays better at the four because that's what he wants to do. So he'll naturally just play better there. So we'll see. I mean, again, it's super early. Again, as we all know, less than a month away, teams can start trading the players that they added during the offseason on December 15th. So it'll start heating up very soon. But what do you guys think on that? Jeremy Grant to the Lakers, or would you do Miles Turner and Justin Holiday, or would you just like someone else, or keep it as is?
I mean, like we were talking about before we went live, I'd just say the issue with the squad. I mean, there's many different issues, but when LeBron sits, we don't have that 3/4 that could come in, that can play defense and shoot the three. Like I know everybody's saying Melo, but Melo can only check one of those boxes and that's score and shoot the three. but somebody who could play defense, like for extended amount of minutes, because we can't play two bigs. We already seen that, especially with Russ in the lineup. And then Ernest, I know you're high on the reason. Trust me, as a Lakers fan, I'm high on him too. But things that at this age, like I can't expect him to be flagging around, covering pivotal minutes when Braun is not in the game. And I was thinking about it, while we was playing against the Bucks, like this see how the Bucks got somebody like Bobby Portis, somebody to hold down the fort. When
I wish we got him in the offseason. When he took a discount to stay in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, I figured he was. He's the people's champ. He's the people's champ. They love him out there. But if he had a bruiser, a bruiser like Bobby Portis that could hold down the fort while Giannis is out the game to guard the other team's best wing player or four, whatever, like that would be so helpful. Even though Giannis is, one of a kind, but that game against the Bucks, we had no answer for him at all, no resistance at all. Mans gave us 47. But if we had a guy like that could come off the bench when Braun sits or 86, that could cover like a good 20 to 25 minute spread while those guys is resting, that can still put points on the board and still defend. Like I'm all for it. But THC, that's my guy. But like you were saying, man, it's a business.
Listen, it is what it is, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. Sidebar: the New York Knicks are debuting their City Edition jerseys tonight.
Oh yeah, that'll be nice to see.
Yeah, but see how it looks on TV.
But the court, they're not doing the court until Christmas. Last time I heard.
Oh, okay, got it. I mean, that's fine. We'll give them their first L in the New Jerseys. That's all good.
Yo, that is
last year. No, remember last year the Knicks wore the City Edition jerseys against the Lakers. Guess what happened?
Remember, there was a jersey. It was like an orange jersey that was cursed.
Yeah,
that bright orange jersey was terrible
years ago.
Oh, was that Adidas at the time? Was that Nike?
It was Adidas, right?
It was Adidas. Yeah. Jeez, man. They should bring back the sleeve jerseys though. I like the short sleeve joints. Those are all right.
Nah, man.
Nah.
Only reason is
the Cavs one was actually fire.
It looks good off the court, but on the court it looks like the dude is playing soccer. You got to remember, Adidas is a soccer, influence brand. So right, and I get that, but just some of the threads was fire, but off the court, all right, you can wear like a t-shirt. But on the court, like remember the game when LeBron ripped the sleeve? Like,
that's true. Yeah. I mean that Christmas game when the Lakers and Knicks played, and they wore the all orange, and the Lakers wore the all white. And I was like,
white.
What? Even the numbers, I was like, this is bad. This is really bad.
Yeah. We should never see those again.
Yeah. Needless to say, we have come to the conclusion of this really quick show. Guys, enjoy the game. As I said earlier in the show, tune in to next week. We'll be talking all things college. Huge game tonight. Yes, a huge game tonight, right? We have Gonzaga, UCLA, the top two teams ranked. So it'll be a really good game to watch.
And also Friday, Gonzaga and Duke,
which is another good one. So, guys, if you're not really into college basketball, please give it a try. It's a really exciting game.
Yeah.
If you really want to learn the game, like understand the nuances and the fundamentals, you will go to college and watch that.
Yeah.
Some really, really good stuff there you can dissect. I love watching the college game for myself, personally. I could, read it easier and stuff like that. The NBA is really, isolation based stuff like that.
So, I think the tournament really speaks for itself, because this whole conception of people making brackets and their brackets got busted because they think one team is better than the other team.
Yeah.
When it comes to college, like you don't know who's gonna win.
Right.
It's really like they put their all into that one game. Even though we're not at the tournament yet, but I'm just saying, college, you find some underrated gems in college. So, it's really competitive.
And that's the time where the scouts for the draft, they really show up and watch the guys who are like off the radar. They come onto the radar. So if you saw a couple guys on last year's draft, it was because of what happened during the whole tournament thing.
Right.
Yeah. So tune in next week, guys. We got some good stuff coming, and enjoy the game tonight, right? Let us know, comment, hit us up on our
Lakers
Instagram.
up, Knicks down.
It's going to be a really exciting and stressful game at the same time. But enjoy it, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Later.